Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much for coming here. My topic is going to be about meta large language models for scientific discovery and feature optimization. My name is Chandran Reddy. I am a professor of computer science at Virginia Tech. I am actually local here. My office is right 20 minutes from here. Okay. Most of you know AI systems struggle with metacognition, right? So their ability to reason, their iteratively refining, evaluating their performance, all of them, these large language models struggle to a certain extent, right? So what I'm going to show today are two metacognitive agentic AI frameworks, LLM-SR and LLM-FE, that can incorporate prior domain knowledge about the specific domain that they are working in, iteratively refine the performance of these models, and see what are the mistakes it made and actively look for a better solution and in an iterative refinement process. Right? So this LLM-SR, which stands for Large Language Model for Symbolic Regression Model, it's an agentic AI framework to solve the problem of what is called a scientific equation discovery, where the equations are used for modeling a scientific hypothesis. And in this process, we will incorporate the domain information or the prior domain knowledge of this scientific discipline, and we optimize for the best equation fit for the data that is being generated in the scientific domain. In the second problem, we will have this LLM-FE, which is an automatic feature engineering method for tabular data learning, which is a very important problem where you have tabular data and you want to build a predictive model and you want to optimize for the right set of features. Right? There are tons of methods in the literature, but how do we effectively incorporate the domain knowledge from the LLM in trying to find the most optimal set of features before we get into the predictive model and keep refining for the optimal set of features in an automated way through evolutionary search mechanisms that LLMs can help because LLMs act as optimizers. Right? So we want to leverage the domain knowledge and the ability of the LLMs to act as optimization algorithms to find the right set of features when we have tabular data. So these are the two frameworks at a high level I'll be spending time today. And the overarching theme is basically trying to see how do we come up with these agentic frameworks where it can be explainable, it can provide explainability to the end user, and we can have the self-adaptation and refinement process in the evolutionary search mechanisms. Right? So that is what I'm going to talk about. So the first topic is on scientific equation discovery. So essentially in scientific process, you have a problem specification and you try to collect some of the scientific context in the form of documents, in terms of knowledge graphs, or in the multimodal context, trying to extract the right information and knowledge that is required to build a hypothesis. And this hypothesis generation, this is where most of the AI is accelerating the process of generating hypothesis through reasoning, planning, programming, and search mechanisms. So this is where a lot of research these days is happening on the AI for science paradigm with a lot of advancements in recent reasoning models and large language models and so on and so forth. Once we have this hypothesis generated, it helps in building the right set of experiments and evaluating them through human experts or simulations or scientific tools and so on. So this cycle continues. Right? And this was part of one of our position papers at AAI earlier this year. And the reason I'm showing this is because you can see this is an iterative process. And in the process, you might make a mistake in hypothesis generation, but then you go and correct and rectify this. And we want to simulate this process using the domain knowledge, domain expertise that we can extract from LLMs and try to automate as much as possible. Right? So this is at a high level, you can think of scientific discovery in this manner. Right? The hypothesis generation is a very important step. And this hypothesis generation, we want to represent the hypothesis in the right way. One way to represent the hypothesis is in the form of a mathematical formulation, which is basically a mathematical equation. Right? So if you look at this, this is Keplers Law that was invented in 1601, which is more than 4 centuries ago. The problem of this hypothesis is that you observe some experimental data and you want to fit an equation to this data. You want to fit a mathematical representation or a mathematical hypothesis, and this is what I'm showing over here. So essentially, equation discovery is you have numerical data and you want to fit a mathematical expression to these numerical observations, and you want to propose some hypothesis. So this will help you understand and predict better about the scientific systems that one is trying to study and control over. This process of identifying these equations is called symbolic regression, And this is where a lot of research has been done in the recent years. And because of the advancements in large language models, this whole process has been speeded up, and it is giving a lot more accurate results than it used to be like a few years back without generative AI and without large language model techniques, right? So let's talk about how do we accomplish this, right? So why do we want to do this in the first place? If you think about a tabular data that you have, and you have a regression value, so this is a standard regression problem, and you fit a regression function, it's a black box function with all these parameters, you have a target variable which is continuous, and you want to fit a function, right? So this is what people do, XGBoost, all these standard methods, most of us are very familiar with in the data mining community. But on the other hand, in symbolic notation, we do want to do the same thing, but not with a black box function, but with an expression that maps this variables, the features, to the target variable, right? So it's not just we are trying to fit the data, but we are also trying to do it in a manner that we can get a understandable expression, so that it is more easy to interpret for the end user, and we can do lots of things. And the main goals of this work is going to be about trying to get an interpretable representation. By nature of it is interpretable, because we are looking at not just the fit, but we are also looking for the best expression that fits the data, right? So this expression is a lot more interpretable than a black box fit, right? And we want more accurate fit. More importantly, trying to do that, this model is a lot more generalizable, in the sense that in the presence of noisy data, or in the presence of when you have out of distribution fit, fitting an equation will help you do this process better, because an equation understands the process much better, and it can be extrapolated to out of domain distribution, which is a lot more important in building a scientific hypothesis, right? So that's one of the reasons why we try to go with this symbolic prediction method. And of course, if you're interested in this topic, and in the same room, I'm going to give a tutorial for 2 hours tomorrow on the symbolic prediction and taxonomy of this. So different methods, what are the latest methods? So one of the things that I will be talking about is, I just came back from ICLR conference in Singapore yesterday, and we presented our work on large language models for symbolic prediction, and that's where we propose this agentic framework. I will just give a teaser of what I'm going to talk about tomorrow, because this is one of the main works that that we think is changing the paradigm of how do we incorporate domain knowledge into symbolic prediction topic, right? So regression is basically a data-driven fit, right? There's nothing really domain-specific about it, right? But when scientists come up with a hypothesis, they are not just trying to fit the data. They have immense amounts of knowledge in the past that they are using to use and build a hypothesis that will potentially fit the data well, right? How do we mimic the process of extracting knowledge from the scientist? And that is where the LLMs come into picture, right? The LLMs have a lot of knowledge about the domain, because they have seen lots of papers, just like scientists did in their courses. So LLMs, during the training process, they have seen lots of information on the scientist, like a scientist. And we want to incorporate that domain knowledge and some information from the domain into the search process, so that it makes it much faster. So how do we combine the power of LLM's domain knowledge into the scientific equation discovery? So that is the LLM framework. That is the agentic framework that I'm going to talk about, and that's what we presented last week. Okay? So in our agentic framework, this is the main idea of the LLM SR method. Right? So you start with trying to extract something from the domain. So you know what is the problem statement. So you have a problem specification. Think about the cyclic discovery process I showed in the first slide. Right? So you start with the problem statement. You know what the variables are. And let's start with a simple linear model to start to begin with, and ask the LLM, probe the LLM to identify the best possible equation that you can think of that can fit this data. So the LLM generates a planning process, and also it will generate a nice set of lines of code, because it is very interpretable now. So you can now look at this LLM generating a piece of code with some comments which will add the value, because it knows these are the variables. So it has some domain knowledge about this will be the kind of expression that will fit all these variables into the final equation. And now we take the numeric data that we have, and whatever LLM has produced, we are going to use that and try to fit the LLM's equation after optimizing for the parameters. LLM is going to give a skeleton of the equation, and then we optimize for the parameters and look at this data-driven evaluation and see what LLM has generated. Is it a good fit or not, right, after optimizing? Once you see it is a good fit, then the third component comes in. This is where the buffer or the memory of the agent comes in, right? We store, this serves the purpose of the natural selection in the survival of the fittest, Darwin's theory, right? Where the best solutions stay and the bad solutions are removed, right? So this selection process is like a buffer where it stores the good solutions and it starts eliminating the bad ones. Right? Once you know these are the good solutions, then you send them as the in-context examples to the LLM. And then in the LLM, it optimizes for it. Then it implicitly does crossovers and mutations, just like you do in genetic algorithms. Because now you know two equations are good. Let's come up with a creatively a third equation. That's a combination of these two equations. That's what LLMs do. That's the idea of crossovers and mutations. And that's what this LLM does, and generates another equation. And this iteration continues. Right? In this process, you can see based on the memory. So the agentic frameworks usually have several components. You have the memory component, which provides the context to the actual LLM program, and you have a planning that LLM does for what will be the possible set of equations that can fit the data. Then the code generation component, the data-driven evaluation, which is a tool, external tool, and this code generation component also has self-verification. These are all the 5 components that are designed to make it as an agentic framework that corrects and tries to reiterate and refine the hypothesis in a systematic manner, and this can continue for hundreds or even thousands of iterations, depending on the domain and depending on how complex the hypothesis that you want to generate and how complex the data that you want to fit. Okay, so that's the idea of this whole iterative framework, and in the symbolic regression community, this is one of the big paradigm shifts because this is one of the first works that can systematically incorporate domain knowledge through the LLM process and optimize the code in the equation discovery set. Okay. So once you have that, one of the challenges that we faced was that some of these equations are very well known. So if you say E and M and C, LLMs know already E equal to MC squared, right? So that equation, that data, it doesn't even have to see the data, it generates that equation. In that case, this yellow line gives the standard Feynman equations, which are very standard physical laws that LLMs have already memorized, right? So to evaluate that, we need to create a new benchmark where LLM's hypothesis should be taken advantage of, but at the same time, these equations should not have been memorized by LLMs, which means these equations have some potential, like combinations of some equations that we want to generate and generate numerical data out of it, right? And so we can see that this is not memorized and the data that we created. As part of this, in different domains like chemistry, physics, biology, and material science, we have run different algorithms for LLM-based symbolic regression, and we have the accuracy, this benchmark, we just got it accepted in ICML as a spotlight paper. And you can see the highest accuracy you see is around 30%. So it's very challenging for all the latest models. So this is a standard benchmark. If you're interested, you can feel free to explore this benchmark in the scientific discovery. So in the interest of time, I'm just quickly going through the second problem, which is the LLM for feature engineering, where you try to optimize for the right set of features. It's a very similar architecture, so I don't want to spend too much time. But in the feature engineering domain, traditional methods are going to combine some of the features. So if you say glucose and insulin and we want to predict diabetes, the standard methods are going to find all sorts of combinations of these features. Whereas the LLM-driven, prior knowledge-driven approach is going to tell me that insulin resistance, which is coming from the domain, is the right set of features that you want to add to build or boost the predictive performance. And so that domain knowledge of the features about the specific domain is very helpful in trying to build the right set of feature engineering. And you will see the framework is very similar, except that trying to fit the equation, we are trying to fit a predictive model where you have this data, we want to extract the right set of features, add these features, and build a predictive model like the standard boosting algorithm or support vector machine, whatever method we want to do the feature engineering exactly similar to what we did in equation discovery, but this is a predictive model itself. So it's a lot more generic than general problem than any other equation discovery set. Okay? Iterate it again and try to export performance. So I don't want to spend time on the results. You can see a bunch of, we ran it on 20 classification and 10 regression data sets. You see the performance compared to standard feature engineering methods and the classical methods versus our LLM-based methods. Okay. So the idea is that we don't want LLM to do the numeric stuff. We want the LLM to do the domain knowledge and write it in a way that we can, so we decouple the data-driven evaluation component to the actual LLM domain knowledge and we iterate this process, right? So we need to know what to get from LLM instead of just throwing all the numeric data into LLM and ask it to come up with a probability score. We don't want to do that. We want to decouple in an agentic framework. It's a very powerful way to capture that information and try to refine this process. Okay. That's the main idea. And I think that will help in this trustworthiness, explainability, and self-improvement capabilities. And we have a lot of other things that are going on. So in summary, we have done LLM SR and SR bench, then the LLM And then we also want to build on our work and just try to use domain-specific LLMs instead of just the standard LLM or GPT input models when we want to incorporate prior knowledge. And the other tool is to incorporate the human experts that can speed up the process, trying to identify the right hypothesis. That's all I have, and all the codes for our work are available on this website. And I'm happy to take any questions. Yes.
So you mentioned using in-context examples, and I guess those are intermediate solutions. Do you have like a cold start problem where at the beginning, those are not really good examples and it might bias the direction?
The thing is, we do have cold start problem where we basically give, because if you don't have any domain knowledge, we just start with a linear model. And once you have a linear model and the domain information, LLM slowly start getting the actual equation because it has some knowledge about these variables and it starts. So depending on how much knowledge it has, so some domains you don't see any of these issues, but sometimes it takes a while because we do get feedback from the data-driven optimization. So initially it might get a lot of bad feedback because none of the equations. At some point it will start, because at that point if your domain is not helping, just the optimization process of LLM itself is going to help. Either one of these two will work at some point during the iteration. So that's the reason why sometimes it can take thousands of iterations to get these conversions.
Yeah. Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.